Today, I'm going to be talking about an important topic, and this is a very high level concept called momentum. And it's taken a while for me to actually make this video because this is actually such a powerful concept that I feel like, the universe was delaying me getting this video out here. And so, yeah, anyway, these are very powerful ideas that if you apply them, it will take you very far in life. So basically, we're going to start out with a funny analogy where, you are basically the sock hanging for dear life in a dryer machine. You have no sense of where you're going. You feel like you're missing your partner, or your relationships aren't solid, or your direction in life is lost, and you're stuck. You're stuck like this or like that. And basically, yeah, a sock without a partner. Well, we've all been there on some level. But yeah, it's just about getting lost and being on our own and no one really relating with us. And that's also why you're possibly into the personality typology or psychology or any of these things, or you're here on YouTube, right? And basically, so many people, everyone that I've seen, is generally lost on some level. And the idea is about, how do you not become this? How do you go through this phase, really? Because it is kind of a rite of passage that everyone goes through. But how do you make it to the other side? And are you a sock? In what ways are you a sock? That's the question. So why is building momentum important? So you need all these things, but I'm just going to go through it. You need the proof of alignment. Someone who has a lot of momentum in their life, they are truly aligned. Like if you see, for example, Taylor Swift doing really well in life, or Billie Eilish, or whoever is a person, they're doing really well in life and they're just going, 100 miles an hour, and they're just not stopping. No signs of stopping. That's the momentum. Maybe they should stop, but maybe they're not going to stop. And you just know when someone kind of hit their stride. When are you hitting your stride in life? That is a sign of momentum. You have momentum. We've all had that in our lives at some point. And then how do you get back to that? How do you get that part of yourself to just go? How do you become the person who can just keep going? Especially if you find your true purpose and you're aligned, right? And this way you'll be living up to your potential, right? The reason why we need momentum is because by having a lot of forward movement, from an analogy perspective or a metaphor, because it's not always forward movement. Sometimes you're a little slow, or sometimes you're just raising a family or something, but you're living up to your potential. And you just know when you are living up to your potential and when you're shying away like a little bitch. You are living up to your potential, and you know it when you have momentum. So the next step is, are you delivering a bigger impact, right? Are you playing too small? Or is the world kind of crumbling around you and you don't know why? And you're like, oh, it's not my job to fix the government. Oh, it's not my job to fix my, issues in home or in life or whatever. Are you having a big impact? Or are you just a small, tiny ant in the scope of your life where everyone else is making big decisions about you and what you're going to go through, and you have no role to play in this? So without any momentum in your life, you're going to feel a little bit more helpless. You're going to feel like a leaf in the wind. And so as you're building momentum, you actually gain power in the selected area of life, and you know what you're going for. Maybe you are having that momentum in your family life. Maybe you are having momentum with relationships and dating or business or your health goals, right? And maybe you're getting these better family life, friendships, work, health, right? So you choose which area of life you want momentum. And sometimes when you're really hitting your stride, you're going to be excelling in all 4 or 5 of these areas. So you're gaining traction towards your goals when you have momentum. And this is basically a sign that you are following your vision. You have a vision for your future. You have a vision for a better life tomorrow or a better life today. And you're able to hit your stride. You're able to build momentum. And it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? It's just picking up steam. It's picking up velocity. And you're picking up all kinds of things. So here are the values that drive momentum. So how do we actually get to that place of having momentum? It sounds good and nice to have all these areas of your life figured out, but what are the values that drive you there? So the first thing is you need alignment, right? Alignment and then direction. So alignment is going to tell you if you're in the right place at the right time doing the right thing, right? You're aligned. And you need to be aligned with the people around you as well. And where direction comes into play is that if you're doing the right thing, but you're going in the right direction, that's important. Let's say you're selling cupcakes, right? You have a cupcake shop and you have workers there and you're the owner of the cupcake business and you're aligned on making cupcakes and you're trying to make higher quality cupcakes. That's a direction. Or maybe you're trying to increase the amount of sales. Maybe you're trying to increase the social media presence of your cupcake business. And so you figure out what's the direction and then you're aligned, and your actions are driving the momentum of your business or what you're doing, or maybe you're trying to do something more metaphysical there, or all kinds of things, right? And it can relate to anything. And then you have the experience, right? So however many years or however much knowledge you've built with selling cupcakes in that example, right? You're building up that experience and it's all compounding on each other as long as it's deliberate. So experience is different when you just have like years of experience is one thing, but you could have years of experience not paying attention. So years of experience where you are paying attention is what we call deliberate practice. That's from the Angela Duckworth book of Grit. Anyway, that's a concept. I'll add it here. And so, yeah, the deliberate practice based experience is more valuable. So you have alignment, you have direction, you have experience, and all of these things combined, including knowledge as well. And I'm saying actions, right? That is your mass times velocity. So that equation goes mass times speed times direction is also equal to your experience times your knowledge times your actions times direction. So you have a lot of mass in the form of the sensory experience as well as the intuitive knowledge that you have built up. That's kind of like your SE or NE combined. And then you have your actions, which is all your basically decider functions, your actions and directions, which is kind of like your TI, FI, TE, and FE. And you combine all of that and your actions and direction are going in a certain way. And NISI can also play into this as well, right? But all of this is driving your momentum and your ability to stay aligned with your calling, your purpose, why you're here on this planet, as well as your direction, and coinciding that with the experience you're actually gaining, the knowledge you're actually accruing, that all these things, when they align, it is basically like the stars aligning. But this is a lot more, you have agency over this a lot more. So just to drive the momentum analogy home is like, you look at cars, right? Every individual car is actually different. And we all have different personality types. We have different psychologies. We have different traumas. We have different goals and experiences and knowledge bases and places that we're from and your birth order and all this other stuff about you, right? And so when you're trying to grow with personality or just trying to grow in life, and you're trying to build this momentum so that your life is going well, you need to take care of which car you actually are. You need to know who you are and where you're going. Are you the car on the left or the right, or are you some other kind of car? You need to know what is your personality type? What is your nature? Where are you going? Who are you? What have you been through? How much damage have you accumulated on, the body of your vehicle? And when you know your car, you'll be able to drive the race a lot better. Even if another car seems more well designed, if you know what you're doing and you know the race that you are in and you choose the correct race for your car, then you will be achieving a lot more than if you're participating in the wrong race with the wrong idea for the car you are, or for the state that you're in. And you'll have that independence because you are a different car than everybody else, And yeah, you want to avoid crashing, right? If you don't know what you're doing and you just go out into the race, then you're going to be crashing and burning and looking at everybody else being like, why am I not comparing to that person? That person has a worse car. Why are they not on fire? Why am I on fire? This car probably looks cooler than the other two, but this one is on fire. So it doesn't matter what kind of car you have if you don't know how to drive it, if you don't know how to operate it with the certain weather conditions or the operating conditions or environment. So when you have your momentum aligned, right, with alignment, you're going to be speeding down. Whether you look like this car or not, you're going to be in flow with the experience of life. You'll be going fast. You'll be going really well on the racetrack. You'll be doing a great job and you'll feel like you're flowing with life. You're aligned. You're abundant. And yeah, so I've outlined some of the four areas, the four high leverage metrics, just to make it a little bit more relatable with personality psychology. I won't be going through them too much, but basically you can relate it with the tribe function of DE, the self function of DI, the gathering function of OE, and the building function of OI. Those are the four areas, and they can be in line to form your vision, purpose, and alignment. When you get these different areas all focused up, then you're able to have a greater momentum, a greater direction, and a greater alignment. And then finally, you have these four social areas as well, right? The social one is aligned with more the vision and the purpose. Social two is for the mission. Social three is your quality crafting or your skills leveling up. And your social four is more for your service to others, your family, your friends, your relatability, you just being down to serve others. And this is allowing you to have more of a service first approach to giving from abundance based on your vision, purpose, and alignment. You see, the best people among us are serving greater things outside of themselves. And so, yeah, that's really it. You know, you get these things down, you align your personality with what you're doing, you align your past and your future with your current present, and you can be hitting the ground running really fast for your vehicle type in the correct race that you're intending to be a part of. So yeah, momentum with alignment, that is the powerful drug that I am attempting to distribute today. That's an analogy. I'm not literally giving drugs here. But yeah, that's good. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good one.